it's difficult to right away get into the mind of someone else. How anger feels for someone else. So it could sort of like be trying to conjure up something as in a sort of a negative, how it would be for others, or how it would be a pain or suffering for others as to be angry. But emotionally, one might not actually have a deep sense of clarity. Mentally, one might not have a clarity, and emotionally, one might not actually feel the pain of others. Then you get into, how when you felt anger at certain point, certain time, how that experience was of being angry, and how that felt in the mind and as well as in the emotion, mentally and emotionally, and also as a visual experience of that. Then when again you go back and reflect on someone else, experience of anger, how that might be, you have a much clarity how that experience would be. It might be, more or less, but the experience of the anger is going to be the same. Experience of the attachment is going to be the same. Experience of the jealousy is going to be the same. Experience of the arrogance is going to be the same. Experience of being confused is going to be the same. So as you get more in touch with yourself of how those experiences are for you, you have a more clarity, and emotionally you can assess of how others do feel, mentally and emotionally as well. In this process, you are able to put yourself in this way in the shoes of others by becoming in touch with your own mind and emotions, and then generate a compassion. Now here again, when you are generating a compassion here, alone with that experience of your own suffering, right? How there was also simultaneously rejection of that suffering. There, That rejection of the suffering is there in others as well. However, they are in one hand holding on to anger and executing the anger. At the same time, in the deeper level, there is rejection of that suffering. Because you felt it. As you were holding on to your anger, how at the same time, simultaneously, you were rejecting your own suffering at that time. Because it was painful to be that angry. So, getting in touch with that, then to again know how that would be for the others. And as that longing was real for you, to know that longing is real for others, with any of the 5 negative emotions. So the 5 negative emotions is not the true identity. 5 negative emotions is merging emotions out of confusions. True identity of the person is that rejection of the suffering. Person or being who's rejecting the suffering is the true identity. Rest is confusion, merging emotion out of confusion. So in that way, if one can actually separate person's emotion versus who the person really is, then easy to generate compassion. Even that emotion is directed towards you, you know that emotion which is directed towards you is a merging emotions out of confusion, not the true self of the person. True self of the person is one who is rejecting that experience of suffering. And there's no being who's not rejecting the suffering. So in that way, then when you get in touch with that aspect of the others, and then really make that wish or that longing to come true, that becomes your compassion.